branch here, and actually I need to, let's see here, code, Firehose, Connor, and there it is, Camelot Chess. And when I set up, it's funny, I don't even know how to update my fork because I just never do stuff like this. Update fork. How do you do that? I want my fork to reflect yours.
Yeah,
Syncing
some
a
type
fork.
of pull.
Yeah. Before you can sync your fork, okay. Get fetch upstream. Okay. Ah, I need to slow down and read this. Before you can sync your fork with an upstream positive, you must. Yeah. Okay. Configure remote. Okay. Get fetch. I think it's called origin. Yeah. And then I want to go to the join branch. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine. So I just need to get in. As long as I have your join branch, we're good, right?
Yep.
All right. So I'm in there, and where we want to look at the games controller. Ooh, you've added some things. I see.
Yep. Oh yeah, I commented it out.
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay. So are we like basically where we left off, or?
Well, I actually did I listed out the available games,
Okay.
and so I did that part. But I've been messing around in Bybug on every line in there on the uh, the update action,
Oh, in here.
and there it seems to be not saving the game value
Okay.
for some reason.
And so this is your test, and this is the controller under test. So
Hmm.
ideally, we want this test to actually pass and
Yeah,
verify the behavior. So can I uncomment it then?
yeah. I just had that so I could update it.
Okay. So let's see here. Let's see here. I'm going to rename this window tests, and I'm going to make sure that I've got everything that you've put in here. What?
Oh yeah, you can change that because my team is using 2.4.0, so I had to update it. So, but
Why? I guess they just want to be on the bleeding edge, huh?
I guess the hashes are quicker now.
Oh, they are. Okay. Well, this is going to take like 5 minutes to install that. Okay. Well,
Oh no.
it's okay. I mean, maybe it won't take that long. Eh. So let's just look at this real quick. So you're creating a user. Hey, one thing is, if you don't want to type factory girl everywhere, and you just want to type like create,
Hmm.
there's a way to set that up. Um,
Oh okay.
Basically, I mean, sometimes it's helpful to type factory girl because it's what you're doing. You're using a factory, but you can. Let me look that up real quick while we're waiting. Okay, factory girl. I don't know. Helper methods, is that what I'm looking for? Yep, it's in here somewhere. Syntax methods is what they call it. Let me look for that. Syntax methods. Um, did I miss RSpec or something? Here it is. Yeah, this is what we want. Copy. Okay, so what this will let you do, let's go into your Rails helper here. We can just put it in here. See what I put in there? Config include syntax methods. And what that lets you do is, if you're here in your test, like this test, here you're explicitly invoking factory girl to create this user, right? So like when we run this test, the test is running over here. Don't pay attention to all that nonsense. It's just running that one test. These are like some shortcuts I have. So
Oh, cool.
let's take,
Spring. Yeah, I did see that.
maybe it's, you know what? It's not running the test. Oh gosh, because it's installing Ruby. I forgot that I started that in this window.
Oh yeah, I was wondering.
Oh man. You know what? Let's just bail. What version of Ruby did we have before?
2.3.0, I think, or 2.
Well, I know I have 3.1 on my system. Let's go to 3.1. And we can, I mean, we can change
Yeah,
it better, but
I
just
think it is
just for
that.
the sake of this. Okay, now are we doing okay over here now? Oh, okay,
2 point.
okay. Now what are we doing? More complaints, but they're yellow, not red.
Much better.
Much better. That's a much better color. Uh,
Cool.
this won't take that long. Don't. I'm recording you, so don't shout out your social security number or anything.
Right. Yeah, here's my bank pin.
Yeah. What? What's rainbow? And why did it
Never heard of
break?
that.
Well, there it goes. All right, let's try this again. Yellow. I can live with yellow. All right.
Yep.
Bring it on.
There they are.
And get rid of one of those errors. Okay, so did that work? Yep. Okay, so we are back here. And now if I want to run this test, we go over here and okay, you know what? So I want.
Spec controller.
I just don't want to add stuff to your project that y'all don't use. We'll just do it the normal way, which is this way. RSpec slash controllers games, and I'm on line 9. Okay, so I'm running this test after all that work just to get the test running, and it's telling us that giving us some deprecation warnings. Just don't worry about that. So the test passes. But because those syntax methods are there, you can do this now. You can just say create user instead of factory girl create. Let's see if the test still passes. And it does. It's a little just
Cool.
it's a little bit easier,
Yeah,
a little
I
cleaner.
like that.
Okay. So I don't like that. We're going to run our test over here. Just because I like having more room to read it. Okay, so let's get this one to run now. So this is on line 17 or 18. So what happens when we run this test? It's not going to work. Okay. Undefined method name equals. Is that what the kind of error you were getting before?
Yeah, I did get that one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's dig into it. So, what are we doing here? We're creating a user. The user needs to sign in. We're creating a game. I'm going to put the game above. Wait, you can't create a game without. Can you create a game? Yeah, the game has to have a white user when you create it. So that could be one of the things we're running into here.
Oh.
Do you remember that? Like.
Yeah. I have to assign that person.
Yeah, so we can. It's easy because you can say. Let's get rid of this. So we're creating a user, right? And then we want to create a game, so we can say, let's create this game, and then we can say the white user is this white user we just created. You can do that with Factory Girl. Any attribute on the model, you can make assignments when you create that thing using the factory. So you don't have to use. I mean, basically the way that you use Factory Girl effectively is in your factory file, you put like almost nothing, just like the bare minimum to have a valid item. So like for a user, it's got to have an email, so we have this sequence here. It's got to have a password. But a user might have all kinds of other attributes, right?
Right.
Like, so if we go look at the user, if we go look at the user, I'm going to go jump here. He's got, well, there's really nothing. Oh, he's got UID and provider and stuff like that. So when you create a user using a factory, you can do stuff like this. You can say user, and then it's going to fill in all the default stuff. But then I can also say whatever. I can assign something to any attributes of his.
Oh, wow.
And so that's really how factories get used. Is they're just kind of like they sit. It's kind of like stock cars. They come out of the factory. They're all the same, and then you can customize whatever elements of it that you want to. So when we create this game here, right as we create it, we can specify that this game has the white user is this white user we just created. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we don't. Anyway, let's walk through here. Like, what's the setup here?
Okay. We want to have the white user assigned to the game, and then we need to create a second black user,
right?
And they will be updated into that first game, but with a new ID.
A black user initiates an update to join the game. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Ouch.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then what? And then you want to verify something like, let's verify that. Or whatever. We can fill that in.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess verify that the game, it's better to say, has been updated to have 2 users, right?
Right.
Okay, so one thing is, like when you're creating this white user and this game with the white user, why are you signing in the white user?
That's just kind of like what we've practiced in the program so far.
Yeah, so you probably just cut and paste it from somewhere, but really, like, there's no need to sign in a white user and do anything with him. You can kind of just, I know that there's no way this set of circumstances could exist without some white user signing in somewhere and creating a game, right?
Right.
But when you're testing stuff, you don't have to follow the rules in terms of when you're establishing the conditions for your test. You don't have to go about them in any proper order or anything. You just have to kind of cause those conditions to exist, just like let there be this. And sometimes you can just kind of fake people out with those conditions. And we'll test that later. But anyway, so we can just say, let's just create a game. We don't have to sign in the white user at all. In fact, what was that other spec that we were looking at? Remember this? Like create game with 1 player?
Yeah. We didn't have to do that.
I don't know why I pluralized that. But basically, it's just these 2 lines. So I'm just going to copy this for now. I know it's bad to have code in 2 places that does the same thing. But just for now, okay, we'll just close that. Whoops. So in here, we can just say, let's create a game with 1 player. Player, singular. And let's see here. So we don't need this anymore. And then we want to create a black player, right?
Correct.
And that is what you're doing here.
And they'll need a different ID.
They'll need a different ID. And what's nice about Factory Girl is, or what's nice about Rails is you never have to worry about the uniqueness of the ID. It's going to figure all that out for you, right? So we just have to, all we have to do is do create user, right?
Just under the hood, right?
Yeah, look, I'll show you in the console, like if I do factory girl create user, I forgot to capitalize my G.
Oh, yeah.
Oops. See the ID there? It's 5.
Yeah.
And the next one's 6, and the next one's 7. So it'll take care of that for you.
Huh.
You don't have to
Cool.
worry about that. Because gosh, that would be an awful thing to have to keep track of, right?
Right.
Okay, so we have a game with 1 player.
Mhm.
We have a black user. We're signing in that user. And now we're ready to go. We want to patch update. And what we're looking for here
There's a better way to do this. This is probably where.
no, well, let me ask you this, is like, you know, so much of what we do is to help reason about the system, and when you come back to it later to change it, or you're working with this team and when they look at something, so the word update, when you update a game, it's not that doesn't tell you that you're adding a player to the game.
Yeah, it'd be better if it was like join or something.
Yeah, it'd be better if it was join. And there's a lot of different ways to come at this, but we can just do something like this. Let's go here, and I'm gonna make. Let's look at our routes, okay?
Uh-huh.
Do you ever look at the routes? You know how to.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay. So you see under the games, there's all these routes. We have basically, if you look to the far right column, your standard CRUD routes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're there. Have you ever added additional routes besides these ones?
No.
Okay, so it's really easy to do, and it's a lot of fun. So basically, if you look at these routes here, now look at the middle column. Some of them are like the top 2, or see how they're like /games, and you don't pass that an ID, right?
Okay.
Why
Yeah.
not? Because it's the index method for games, and like you want to see all the games, so it's kind of like a collection route.
Right.
It's after a collection, and you don't need to pass it an ID because your collection doesn't have an ID. But the show route, like about halfway down, you see in the middle column, it requires a parameter ID, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if we make a new route to join a game, do you think it should be a collection route, or it should be one that requires the ID of a game?
The idea of the game.
Yeah. And so Rails calls those kinds of routes member member routes, because
just MEMBER.
yeah,
member?
because it's like it's a member of the collection.
Oh, okay.
So watch how fun it is. I use that term loosely to set up this thing. So you have your resources games. Ooh, I just love this nice clean routes file. So if you want to add more routes, we just go down here, and oh man, I just totally can't remember how to do it, but I think it's something like that. Member do get join. Anyway, let's see if that works. Hold on.
That's cool.
Oh, I did remember. Okay, and do you see the new route there?
Oh yeah, cool.
And whatever you named the let's go back to the routes file. So we called it, you give it like the verb here. It's and it really should be more like post, to be honest. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter, but
So we can signify whatever we want for that.
you can, and basically because you're actually updating the game, you're actually changing the game. Technically, it should be a put route, but I'm just going to put patch. Do you know about those things, or should I just not do that?
Yeah, I know about patch.
Okay, well, let's just put patch there because that'll match put or post. And now let's look at the routes again. And
Uh,
now it says join game, patch, and you can see that that route requires an ID because it needs to know what game you want to join,
mhm.
right? So in here, I mean, you could say, you can call it whatever you want, you know,
Oh, cool.
Connorpalooza. And then if you go look at the routes, it's just going to be in there, Connorpalooza game. It'll just prepend and make a new path. So now throughout your whole system, you have this thing called join game path, and you pass it a game or a game ID, and it'll produce the correct route. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Because why is it cool? Because it lets you reason about the system more accurately. So now in here, instead of describe update, right, we can say describe join, and we can say patch join,
Mm,
and it's
that's
just
much better.
so much better, right?
Yeah.
And then over here, instead of update, we can change this to say join. And I think, I might be missing something, but I think that's all we need to do. What am I missing here?
Mm.
Well, we'll just see. Okay.
Okay.
So now we're going to do patch join, and the ID will be the game.id. Whoa, are you still there?
Yeah.
Man, my screen just went black for a second.
Yeah. So that.
Okay, where are we going to get this game ID from?
I think that was because I had the game created, but now since we don't.
No, we do have the game created, right? But
Yeah.
we just didn't assign it to anything. So right, so we can just do this. We're good, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just remember the last line in this little method is going to return that game.
Hmm. We just assign that.
Mhm.
And then,
And then what's this stuff here?
well,
We don't need that, okay?
okay. Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
we just want to make it as simple as possible. So it's like when I'm joining a game, all I want to do is pass it the ID of that game, and I don't want to have to carry around any other information.
Okay. Yeah.
And so your expectation here is you are you're basically just checking the redirect, which is fine.
Should I reload the game and?
Yeah, we really should. We really should. But let's just. Sometimes when I'm writing tests, you know what I do is I take out any expectation, and I just want to see if like if the setup and the action can work without breaking.
Okay. Yeah.
And that kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off. So like let's run that test, and if it passes, yeah, see it's kind of like it'll tell you what it's missing.
Mm.
A parameter is
Yep.
missing, or the value is empty game. Okay. So when you have to do this when you pass the I think so. Let me just see if this works, and then we can explain it. No route matches join. Oh, never mind. What am I doing? No. I shouldn't have changed it. Okay, it's saying a parameter is missing or the value is empty game. Okay, I got it. So like basically in your controller here, in your game params, Um, well, let's just leave that alone. Let's look at this join method. And what we want to do is find the game, which I think you're doing there just fine,
Okay.
right? And then what's going on here is you have this update attributes code, but really you're not updating. I mean, you are updating the game, kind of, but you're just really updating one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're basically just saying,
True.
who, whoever, if the game's available, then. So let me just get rid of this. Okay, so basically you're saying if the game's available, set the black user. Yep, you're doing. Yep, and one thing you're not doing here is saving it. So you got to do that, and then
Oh yeah.
you want to redirect to the game path of the game. Otherwise,
Go back to
unprocessable entity. Anyway, otherwise you redirect to the game's path. Okay, well let's just run the test again and see if it's okay now. The reason it was complaining before, undefined method available. What happened?
Should I put a question mark?
Oh yeah,
for that?
I might have deleted that by accident. Undefined method available. What? Well, let's go look at the game model, and oh, it's a scope. It's a scope, but do you have a method in here?
No.
Okay, well look, that's a great method to write. So check this out. For any given game, how can we tell if the game is available? We can say this: black user empty. Pretty much.
Oh.
Empty will return true if it's nil or blank, or it's kind of a catch-all. But isn't
Okay.
that the very definition of available for a game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Super simple, right?
So could you just do? I mean, I like this way, but is there a way of just doing that inside the update the join in the controller?
Absolutely. So let me comment this out, and we'll do it that way, and then we'll see if. Let me get rid of this factory stuff. So yeah, so here you can say if game dot black. What was it? Black user dot
Empty.
empty.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
and
that
let's
makes
run
sense.
let's run this test. I don't think we want to leave it that way, and I'll tell you why. Undefined method empty. Is it not empty? I always forget this. Rails.
Valid. Maybe it's valid.
No, it's like there's one called present, and then there's like the opposite of present. Is it blank? Here, this. Hold on a second. Empty. No, it's not empty. It's blank. I always forget. Blank. Yep. And so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we commented that out. So now. Here. I think I have some kind of disorder because I get so bothered by clutter on the screen. I'm always clearing it off.
Mm-hmm.
It like just gets to me. Yay, it passed. But it didn't actually test anything. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. This isn't too terrible if game.blackuser.blank black, right? Because we just talked about it and we know what we're testing. But to be honest, it's not 100% clear why we're making that check there, right? So it's the point I'm going to make is it is so cheap to make a method like this. It doesn't cost you anything. You know what I mean? For you to just
Yeah.
and so someone can come here and go available. Oh, when there's no black user, the game's available. Oh, it's like I see, and you don't have to leave a comment or anything. It's kind of a self-commenting thing, and so then everywhere in your system, you can just do this, and then when someone comes across it, it's like reading a story, right? I have no problem understanding what's happening right now, right?
Right. Will that available affect the index up above?
Um, Connor, you ask the best questions. Okay,
Oh,
it will not, and here's why.
okay.
There's two reasons. Number one is it's totally a different word because that question mark at the end means it's to Ruby. It's a totally different method name, So the question mark makes it unique. But
Uh,
the other thing that makes it impossible to have a kind of naming collision is this is a class method. Remember that time we talked about class methods and instance
yeah.
methods? So even in game, you define this as a scope, and a scope is basically a class method.
Hmm.
And it
Okay.
operates upon the entire class, and available operates on one instance of the class. So you could never do anything like you could never say something like this. Uh, you know what Ruby would say? It would say, "There's no such method defined," and you'd say, "Yeah, there is. I'm looking right at it." But to Ruby, it's only looking at class methods. So to Ruby in the game class, there's no available question mark method. There's only a method like this, which is a scope.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm talking too much. Okay,
Makes sense.
so is the game available? If it is, assign myself, the current user, to player black, save the game, redirect to gamepad. I think we're in a place where we could actually expect something here. But instead of this expectation, I liked what you were saying, which is, let's what should we do? What should we do to verify that the game has the condition that we expect it to have? You tell me.
Well, after the game reload, um,
So we'll do this first, right? First we'll
uh
reload the game.
then
Oops.
we want to expect the game. I kind of want to do it somehow how you did it with the create action, like the. Mm, let me think.
There's a lot of not silly ways, but there's a lot of funny ways you could say this. I expect game.available to be falsy. You know,
Oh yeah.
it's no longer available. That's an easy test.
Mhm.
Or you could say I expect game.black player to equal black user, not black player. I always
Yeah.
right, and that's an even better test because that verifies that your assignment was successful, right?
Yeah.
Let's you want to run the test and see?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sounds good.
let's see. Expected falsy value got true. so, so after you go through patch and you reload the game is still available for some reason. So let's do a bug here and find out what is going on.
Yep.
So game, yeah, the black user ID is not being assigned. Okay, so let's figure this out. Let's go into the I see what's happening. Okay, I see what the problem is. It's kind of tricky. Okay, it's in this line. See if you can find it. What we're doing wrong.
Oh, take out the ID.
Yeah, you either need to do this, that will fix the problem, or you need to do this. You just have to be kind of on the same page.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if it passes now. Ah, it passes, but it didn't give me that nice feeling because of that silly bug thing. So let's run it one more time.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so
Wow.
it's passing. Yay! That's a good test. Again, it's kind of um,
Huh.
it's not the best thing in the world to have more than one expectation in your test. Um, and then now we're about to have three. You know, now check this
Right.
out.
Those expectations could be in different tests, right?
Yeah, and because you see how it says one example, three failures. So like I would let me delete these comments. You could probably I mean, you could let's see here. You could probably split this up into two tests. So we'll say it redirects to game path after a successful join. And we'll have all this same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
See, we don't need to reload the game in this case, and then for this one we'll just, so at least here, and then this one adds a player to the empty black player slot, period, right?
Yep.
And I just would delete this because
The falsy.
these are kind of like overlapping. Like if that's true, then we know it's just not necessary. So I would just, I just really don't like having more than one expectation in there because
Yeah.
it can kind of just it's nice to have focus, right?
Right.
Okay, so join is working, right? And it has a good name, but the thing is like, how are you going to handle an unsuccessful join?
Oh yeah. Write a
So-
test for that.
Yeah, let's write a test for that, and you tell me what to write.
Okay.
Okay, so
Oh, for this part,
where do we want it to go after that? What do we want to happen?
redirect to the I guess the game page. The
Okay. Redirects back to game page. Do you want to like show like a flash message? Like what really? What's supposed to happen when someone joins a game they can't join?
so I always use unprocessable entity, but
Okay.
maybe forbidden maybe or yeah, I'm okay with using like an alert.
Well,
Like using.
I mean, I don't want to introduce stuff in here that your team doesn't want. What if we just say it redirects back to the game page and well, I guess if we don't know what we're trying to do, we shouldn't write a test yet. So let's just not put it in. We'll just wait until
Okay.
tests are
Yeah.
supposed to follow specs. That's why it's called our spec. So if there's no spec, then
Oh yeah.
there's no need to write a test.
Ah,
Can we
Smart.
can we look up, like, is there any way we can actually play with this yet, or not yet, right?
on the actual.
Like in the browser, have we reached that point?
Yeah, I did get it working.
Okay, but we don't have to. Is this? Do you want to keep going, or do you want to pause and like we can pick it up tomorrow? So one thing is, I don't want you to like burn through my time if you don't really need any help. Although I love hanging out and doing this stuff, but if you want to just pause and keep going for a while and then ping me later, that's totally fine.
Yeah, I want to try to get another test going myself. And,
All right, so let's what do I do? What did I do last time with this stuff?
I think
I
you
like-
forked it.
Updated join. Let's see. Change update to join, and then oh man, I just hate being terrible at get push fill up join. I guess that's right. And then let me go to that. Let's see here. I think I can make a pull request to your existing join branch. And I'll say, Connor, here is the stuff we worked on. You can use it as a reference, right? I don't know what you did before, but you were just kind of like, you just referred to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked on it. Kind of looked at it.
So you should be able to go to your Camelot chess thing, and if you look at pull requests,
Oh, yeah, there it is.
click on it, you can see the files changed and basically see what we did and what we got rid of, and just pick and choose what you need to. All right,
Okay.
Connor.
That's awesome.
Just go ahead and beat your head on it for a while, and then if you get stuck
I'm okay
again,
with that.
okay, I'll be
Thank you,
around.
Phil.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.